Dave, what do you think about Peyton Lee and what he gave you?
Yeah, just a lot of strikes. He did walk three. They didn't really, obviously, they didn't come back to hurt us. Struck out like 5 or 6 guys, and we turned a couple double plays, which was really good to see. But it just seemed like he was a lot better than he was the last couple of times out, as far as strike zone, command, throwing it where he wanted it. Had a little slider working today. Spotted his fastball. When he got in trouble, he was just kind of, throwing the fastball kind of arm side up and out. But he corrected it a couple of times. So it was good to see him, just go out and pitch with a little bit of confidence. That's what I saw.
Drew a lot of walks again today. Maybe didn't take as much advantage of it as you did last night. What did you think about the offensive?
That was probably the only thing that was a little bit disappointing today, is that we left a lot of runners out there. We could have put together some really big innings. We walked 9 times in 8 at bats and got 11 hits. We did hit a couple balls hard with runners in scoring position that were caught, but at the same time, we still left a lot out there, and they know it. That's everything that went on today. That was probably the only thing that bothered me a little bit, is we should have scored 7 or 8 more runs.
A couple of base running mistakes too. What did you see on those?
Yeah, the one base runner mistake was we ran runner first and second, and the batter lined out deep in the outfield, and obviously the runner at first, has got to get back quicker. I don't know, it almost looked like he didn't know where the ball was or if he caught it or not, but it was right in front of him, and then he had to re-tag and didn't get back. And then the other one was a runner at third, and the play is we were either gonna see it through unless we had a chopper, and the ball was chopped, but it was chopped right back to the pitcher. It has to be anywhere but there. So those are the two that jump out to me. We stole some bases. We ran a delay steal, 1-step delay, a couple of straight steals, and took advantage of some things. And it's kind of one of those games. You get up and you're up 9-0, a couple of innings to go, kind of shut it down a little bit. We could have stole some more bases. Pitchers were slow to the plate. I know the guy in the other dugout, so to speak, and then sure enough, what happens? We come out, bring a new pitcher, and makes a couple of mistakes, and 7, 8, 9 in their order are on base, and then they hit a homer or whatever somewhere in there, and it's 4-0. They score 4 runs, and they're kind of back in the game, got a little momentum. But this was a couple of games that, after a big weekend series win, that I wasn't worried about really the winning type side of it. I just want to make sure we showed up and played hard, and I felt like we did. But it was a little more stress-free, and now we have to travel down to South Carolina, and it's going to be a great series.
You're able to get Ryder a day off. How important was that? I think he had played every game behind the plate to this point.
Now he needed a day off. Wednesday game. The plan was to catch him game 1 and not use him today behind the plate. Depending on who you play, I could have DH'd him or done something with him. He's a good enough athlete. I could put him in the field. He could play it with even not much practice at it. So good there. And I thought Carter Rutenbaugh did a great job behind the plate. Even between innings, just his throws to second were quick and accurate. He looked good back there.
I was going to ask you about your backup catchers. We haven't seen Kleiman since Arlington. Anything going on with him? And what made you go with Rutenbaugh today?
Well, because he's our second string catcher. That's why I went with him. Kleiman had his arm problem. He hurt his arm right before the season started. So that if we caught him in Arlington, we weren't going to throw him. I remember it was 1 inning, I think. I remember the situation, but yeah. So he's just really probably 10 days ago has been cleared to throw, all out. So he's good to go. And I thought about putting him in today, but Carter was, as far as maybe an inning or two, but Carter was catching so well, I didn't want to change it up.
You and Bobby both kind of said in the preseason that Rutenbaugh offense was ahead of defense, but that the defense was catching up. How much has he caught up defensively?
His defense has really improved. He's if you don't really notice a catcher, they're doing a good job. You're not always seeing things happen, and Yeah, so he's made a big jump behind the plate. Obviously, we think he can play other positions as well, which is a great for this year and in the future. Where if he's not catching, he can play first base, outfield, or whatever, and he can hit.
I got to see Christian Turner's speed today on that triple. You
Yeah.
guys have been talking about it, but
Yeah.
you guys seem pretty blessed with a lot of really good base running athletes.
Yeah, we do have some guys that can go a little bit, and I think they like to show off their speed a little bit when they get an opportunity. And that was definitely a self-made triple. Going from second to third there, the play was right in front of him, and he was rolling, so he just kept going. They didn't have a shot at him.
Cornelison came in and put the fire out there in the eighth. What did you think about what he gave you over those last two?
Well, he did a great job because we're kind of to the point where, we didn't want to throw maybe someone that possibly could throw on Friday the way we've got it set up right now anyway, for him to come in and get us, I guess, 6 outs and do it with 32 pitches or so. That was big, and just pounded the zone. Threw a couple nice curveballs as well, change up to the lefty, fastballs in and out. It was good.
Going to South Carolina tomorrow. What's the plan tomorrow in terms of going over there, getting a workout in?
Yeah, we'll work out tomorrow. I think we're going to try to see if we can watch some of our basketball game. Yeah, we have a scheduled practice. That's Eastern time over there. It's probably around 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock our time. But it won't be super heavy because we just played 2 games and then we traveled. If we'd had Wednesday was light, it'd be different. But try to get used to the field, get used to the lights, get used to just the surroundings, get some balls in the air, have the guys catch them, and hopefully rest up and play well.
You expect you'll go with the same 3-man rotation this weekend?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like right now. I mean, I don't see any changes. I'm not trying to hide anything, but that's probably what we'll do. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. You get to have those 2 freshmen up here.